In primitive societies, emotions were quite effective tools for orienting in the living environment, for assessing and understanding harmful and beneficial environmental factors, for distinguishing between right and wrong, for solving various problems between community members, and for communicating information better. However, as civilizations have been progressing, the need for emotions has become lower and lower, as the availability of knowledge about the surrounding environment and the development of logical reasoning have made it possible to create much more efficient solutions to various adverse situations, extracting maximum benefit with less risk of error. Meanwhile, the information conveyed by the emotions is rather imprecise because it is limited to the sensations generated by the sensory organs in response to the environmental stimuli encountered at the time. Whereas logical thinking is based on precise calculations, using the information aspects of scientific research, which are much more precise and much more numerous, because they have been accumulated over a long period of time in various repositories of information. The more advanced the society is, the more tools are developed to facilitate living conditions, to meet needs more quickly and efficiently, and to reduce the impact of negative environmental factors. If some kind of mistake is made while using these tools to carry out various tasks, to manage household affairs and etc., in that case, the person is faced with a much more complex situation than in a more primitive society. And this, in turn, requires much more accurate and complex ways to solve the same kind of problems. The more information is known about the area in which an error has occurred, the faster and more efficiently it can be corrected with minimal losses. Therefore, in order to function optimally in a highly developed society and minimizing the risk of unfavorable circumstances, it is necessary to be guided by logical thinking, precise mathematical calculations, the use of concrete scientific facts, and to prevent from the interference of negative emotions which, due to the lack of precision of the information they provide, greatly increase the probability of mistakes being made. Thus, negative emotions, such as anger, fear, shame, etc., which were partly helpful in navigating primitive situations and solving problems in primitive societies, have now become useless and are acting as a negative factor in solving the problems effectively and hindering progress. And the best thing to do is to find a way of suppressing them as much as possible in order to maximize the improvement of the conditions of life and to speed up the further development of society. Meanwhile, positive emotions, while experienced during leisure time, help the nervous system to relax more quickly and efficiently from mental and psychological fatigue, relieve nervous tension, and this allows the brain to rest and regain its full working capacity. Some positive emotions can also be beneficial when dealing with certain works and affairs, if it is responded to them appropriately. For example, the satisfaction which is felt when successfully completing an important task can give a person the extra motivation to keep striving to do well in that area, and, if possible, even to improve oneself for even better results in the future. In some cases, even some negative emotions can be beneficial if they are sufficiently well understood, if the reasons for them are clarified, and if it is responded to them appropriately while using logical reasoning. For example, jealousy. If it is not guided by logic, it can turn into so-called black jealousy, which is psychologically debilitating. Incites hatred and/or encourages to harm the people who are envy. But if the cause of jealousy is sufficiently well understood, and if it is responded to it with logical thinking, then jealousy can be transformed into white jealousy, where it not only uses up some of one's psychic energy, but also provides the motivation to improve oneself to attain or surpass the qualities that gave rise to the jealousy in the first place. In summary, logic and precise calculations are the most effective tools for dealing with all kinds of issues and solving problems, and positive emotions act as an additional stimulant to speed up the improvement process.